some peace of mind
I'm just fixing my camera.
with who I am.
Ah, there I go.
Why?
Can you hear the video playing?
It was more present before, but I think something changed when you said I'm going to fix my camera.
Okay, let me fix that, and then I'm here.
Indeed, all in together. All
Better. Yeah, that's it. Oh, went away.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop it. I'll do this experiment next time. So, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm mobile right now. We're down back in Southern California. I'm looking out over the ocean I grew up at and enjoying the horizon line, so to speak.
All right,
How are you? Where are you?
I'm gonna put my headphones on.
Okay. Bam. So where are you, dude? Where the heck are you?
Oh my God, so much to share.
I bet.
So so many exciting things. Ugh,
That's
I
good. That's
don't,
perfect. It looks like you're leaning on the metaphor mixmaster right there.
yeah, I don't even know where to begin, dude. Can I begin with a
Okay,
favor so I don't forget it?
what's that?
Can you keep your ears and eyes open in that part of California where you might know people? This summer, I'd like to find somewhere I can stay, like someone who has a house sit or even an extra space. Like hopefully someone that would give me like a gift exchange of some kind, or at least affordable contribution compared to like Airbnb. So if you can think of anything, marinate in your friends or whatever, just keep that in mind for me.
Is this for you and Andrea? Are you alone?
It's
Is that
just it's just me because I'm staying. You know, normally we go everywhere together, but so much has happened. I have to stay and do some stuff here. So,
okay?
and I want to
All
come
right.
see you, so I'm super excited. I'm definitely gonna, if you're around this summer and can
Oh, that's
have me, I'm coming, dude.
that's cool. That's
Yeah.
great. And so are you because I remember you talked about you were going to end up towards New Jersey. So are you is this in between then and there, or are you is that a different plan now?
So right now, I flew from England to Phoenix, Arizona. Andrea and I then rested a couple of days so we could get over jet lag. Then we went to Sedona for something called Igniting the Hollow Movement.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll send you a link to that just so you can see some of the languaging and stuff. It's kind of like more spiritually scientific than design science studio, for example,
Yeah. Yeah.
as a genre,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's sorely missing meta modern, right, and all that because it's being spearheaded by a lot of, I mean, with all due respect, older folks, you know, that more specifically, just because older doesn't mean anything, I would say older even in thought to some degree. And I don't mean that as a pejorative thing. It just is what it is. As far as let's say innovation and stuff, like their
What was your
genes.
role with? Yeah.
So we were there for like 3.5 days. Andrea and I and a couple friend of ours were basically co-curating, co-creating the event by holding down what was called the technology track. So there is a guy named Emmanuel Kunzelman, uh, an elder gentleman who's been studying David Bohm for 50 years. That's one of his heroes. So his dream has always been to start a hollow movement, a social application of David Bohm's physics based around the hollow movement. Which is the holographic principle. There's the implicate order and then the explicate order, and the relationship between the two is that the undivided wholeness is sort of always moving together at the same time, kind of principle, um, et cetera, et cetera. So he, as an entrepreneur and now also as a philanthropist, sponsored a gathering of about 70 people in Sedona, where he has a summer home, and it was a working gathering more than a speak at you conference. Yeah. And there were four main tracks. So there's the host team that did the organizing and set out the initial vision, even though it was a little short-sighted from someone like my point of view with architecture and co-creation. But they did the best they can as the host team to anchor something. And they had four tracks. One was vision, one was engagement and partnerships, one was media and visibility, and one was technology. And technology meaning infrastructure and the expanded definition that we always use, like with Ada's article that I always refer to, that media technology really means all of these different media. So we did focus a lot on social architecture and internet technology because of the time we had and because we had to get into this thing and not scare people too much, I would say. But it was so those were the four tracks, and we were part of curating tech. I had an amazing experience on so many levels, but most importantly to share with you, at least in this first share, is that I actually left the tech track and went to the media track, which was a big deal because I trusted them to finish. Like, because me and Andrew are like peanut butter and jelly on our technology and stuff, but the other people like stepped in and had their pieces. And even on a marriage, like individuation level, because my marriage is always intertwined with everything, it's not like I go home and the project, like we met under creative conditions, we're in this evolutionary partnership. And like being married is new to me. I wasn't even in relationships with people from like 22 to 30. So this whole thing has been just a whole, brave new world and all that. So for me to actually say, Andrea, I'm going to the other track where I need to be talking about Togetherland and all these new ideas and fractal impact entertainment, especially because we're talking about the hollow movement. They want to reach everyone. They have no clue how to brand in a meta modern age. They have no clue how to do strategy in a meta modern age. And it's like, how else could you do it without other than with something like fractal impact? And I mean that conceptually, right? I don't have all the answers, but just that concept architecture, even the word, if you think of holographic and unity and diversity and inclusion and everything everywhere all at once, but as a social media, oh my God. So it was amazing. The people were amazing. It was so aligned and people understood me more than ever because I was stepping into like that and individuating and stuff. So I'm just supercharged. I'm super excited. And because of that, I have to stay in the US and I have to follow up. And there's a million more things to share, but I'll throw it back to you first. Just tell me a little bit about what you've been up to and stuff. So I'm in Arizona. I'm going to Houston for a month. I'll tell you why. And then in May, I go to New Jersey. So in mid-June, when Andrea has to leave, probably to go back to the UK to get this tooth thing taken care of that she needs, I'm basically going to start the Unbreakable Spirit. That's the mental health thing I have, which is really the making up Togetherland, but it's the lowest hanging fruit as far as being focused. And it's the thing that lets me talk to everyone because it's mental health. So with all this jargon I have to always use, mental health, it's like God said, go through mental health, and then one day it will be the biggest topic on the planet, right? It's like one of the 5 most talked about subjects right now on the planet after climate change and war. It's mental health, like the shooting, everything. So I'm starting that this summer. I'm starting my hero's road trip instead of a hero's journey. So yeah. Woohoo.
Dude, so a few things. It's funny because I just heard this the other day and I don't remember a lot, but there's certain things I go, oh, I'm gonna take note of that. This whole thing about reaching for the low-hanging fruit, dude, toss that one over your shoulder. You're reaching for what's ripe.
And the juiciest fruit. Totally.
There you go.
Ripe, I like it. So I have been saying juiciest fruit lately, but ripe is even better.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's one thing I just picked up on. And then
That's perfect.
Hey,
maybe you can make me a Dr. Banana thing since it's the mental health piece. That's something about it being ripe or slipping on the peel, like the banana. Maybe you can think of an art piece you could create, like one of these.
Wait a second, is the banana what? Dr. Banana?
Dr. Banana is always on the phone. He's the existential psyche. So I've changed.
That's where the banana comes from.
I'm bananas, but that's how I heal everybody from perceived mental illness as Dr. Banana, which is kind of like Patch Adams. So that's my gig for Patch. I don't like clowns so much. So like I would rather talk to a banana than be a clown, I'll send you video. I'll send you the video I made 5 years ago. It's a 3-minute clip of Dr. Banana to give you inspiration.
Well, that's already inspired. I've already sent you a freaking painting that was like 5 feet by 8 feet big.
Oh, I know,
Remember
but I'm talking
about the noosphere on it.
Oh no, that's why I'm asking you. I know you've already got the banana theme. I need one that's like branded like this.
I didn't quite get the background.
I need it. Yeah, I need exactly. I need one of these beautiful. You're my favorite graphic designer. You're like the Lennon to my McCartney. Like you have the best understanding of Westminster full of it, and you know how to make art. I don't know how to do
But
that,
you know,
dude.
it's really funny, you know, the of late this whole no, actually today I just asked what's its name. That's I think where I've landed for AI right now.
Yeah.
Um, um, is that's a topic I want to head into with you a little bit too. But um, you know, ain't life interesting right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, no, I'm really happy to hear that you're like you're how I'm sensing that in you, this energy that is just emanating, and to be in that space where you can be yourself and really tell your story the way you want to, and then have it received. And I'm sure I can imagine that you were so jazzed by the ears wiggling that it just even got you going more in that space with those folks, and then probably thereafter in the realm
Yeah.
that's still vibrating around you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as Brett Mr. Full of it, some of them didn't get me, right? Some of them, I'm an artist. So there's always like people, you can't please all the people all the time. So let's be clear. I attracted and inspired, yeah, those who could see me. And it was more than enough of diversity and people that can help with this Unbreakable Spirit road trip. And the best thing is, it's all the things I've been thinking about. So it's no longer charity. It's like I have ways to make everyone money, like to help them realize their dreams as part of helping me bring my elixir home with the hero's journey. Like I'm serving the
Yeah.
community basically with it.
Yeah. You know, I gotta say, that's the other point I was going to get to, and you just repeated again, the hero's journey. And I still, that one doesn't sit well with me, but I think we
I
need to
am
move
calling it
beyond that. I know,
heroines. Well, I'm not into it, but I am into
well, it's
calling it
not
the
even that.
heroine's
It's not
journey.
even it's not even that. It's this notion, and the person who's expressed it the best, I think, is Michael Mead
Yeah.
in moving beyond the idea that there's a hero somewhere that's going to do something, even though we each get to be a hero. But he's zeroing in on our personal genius that we all innately have.
Yeah,
That's
but I see
that,
that to me that's synonymous with hero's journey. So I
yeah,
get that other
yeah,
people have
yeah,
like I understand that other people like us have conceptually moved on for good reason. And I think I want to reclaim it to a certain degree, although I am going to
sure.
say I'm on the heroine's journey. So I'm going to mix the gender thing. I'm not on the hero's journey, actually. I'm going to be on the heroine's journey.
Oh, it doesn't
And
sound, it sounds like a gender thing. It sounds like a friggin' trip to me to be a
I know,
heroine.
I know, but it says heroin, so you can't argue with it. And I'm not taking heroin, so it's not an analogy. And then again, to also tweak it, I'm going to call it the road trip instead of journey. So I get by
Yeah,
changing that, I get to define, and it's much more like what Michael's talking about. So the heroine's road trip is what I'm calling it.
great.
An eternal on the road with the merry pranksters, eternally. I'm eternally on a concert festival spreading consciousness and creativity and love, like the hippies. Like, but in an implementable way.
Uh-huh. And I think I saw you ride in on a Griffon.
100%. When I perform my big illusion in 2030, where I make capitalism disappear on live TV, I'm gonna ride in on a Griffon. That's gonna be amazing.
It is going to be amazing.
And I
So
will say,
yeah,
Mark,
that's
by the way, it's been a cauldron, as you might imagine. It goes both ways. Like that conscious evolution stuff with like me and Andrea and some of our friends. Like there's been like some art, like relation stuff. Like we're in the thick of the soup of like what we call like the alchemy fire. So the only trick is how do we burn the stuff that we don't need anymore, and then get to the next level, all of us individually and together. So that shit's happening too. It's just going so hard and well that I'm excited about it because we all want that. We want to get better. Like we want to evolve. So it has been also difficult on that level to some degree too.
yeah. Well, yeah, and it's just that what's thrown at the soup to stimulate the notion of consciousness is this threat of always something, you know, and what's being conjured right now is again more of this divisive divide and conquer shit, and bringing the US and China and Russia and there's this omnipresent you know threats and yet, and I try and tell people, it's like, yeah, but you should see what's going on when you lift up the curtain and kind of take a peek behind what just people are doing and how cool it is, and try and share that. And it's most people don't, they haven't a clue. All they know is we're doomed. We're doomed.
That's a good one for me for the really geeky science humor. So my favorite scientist, you often might see me post about Donald Hoffman. He's a mathematician and scientist. I'll send you a video. But his tagline these days, I mean, he's a real scientist, straight. But his thing that he's into right now is that space time is doomed. So it's funny for like the geeky humor when you just said that. Like it's like everyone's worried. I could come on with a commercial. It's like, don't worry, we're not doomed. It's space time that's doomed. And then cut to like the science of like why space time is doomed. There's really funny image I got in my mind. This guy's going to win the Nobel Prize, by the way. I can tell genius when I see it. This guy is one of the best people on the planet, and he's one of the first examples I've ever seen of a true mystical scientist in the modern age. That's how much I think of this guy. Like he reminds me of Einstein and what I've read about Niels Bohr and all these other people. He's phenomenal. Yeah.
Huh. When you first started, I was just, Stroopy is so much fun to play with, I gotta say.
Right.
I don't know if you spent time with him recently.
No, I've not spent time with Stroopy. That's like a future thing. I've not really got to know him. So
No?
no, his kind of like feminine like qualities, which I have myself, so I guess I could see them in some of his ways and like I just don't have I have instant respect and appreciation like when he was playing live on the instruments on a day-to-day like have a beer with you level. It's not like it I don't have that kind of chemical kind of like response, let's say. But it's great to hear, so I know, and I'm open to it. I just mean on the most organic level, like of all the people, in the DSS or in my Dunbar's number, you know what I mean? Like I hadn't had that connection as much as, but I know he's a genius. So share something with me. And this is for everyone because this will be for the audience too. So,
the thing about Stroopy is that he's a wizard with wordplay.
Yeah,
and his handle and his grasp of language, is a polyglot. But his English is so good that he's able to on the fly come up with stuff. And so the things that I'm sharing that are finding themselves manifest like within these artifacts, like I shared with you on the Griffalon, like the notion of mythelium comes from wordplay with Stroopy and relating to Sophie Strand and her sensibilities of mycelia and myth and how we relate to the world around us and how that story gets transmitted and then thinking about how that relates to the noosphere. Like we were talking and he was like, oh yeah, the noosphere, that's the tingling. And then I said, yeah, so in our ecosphere, this last fairy tale, this new mythos, this new mythic operating system, we have the noosphere and we have the mythelium. And he goes, yeah, so the noosphere is the tingling and the mythelium, that's the tingling. And I was like, oh, that's so beautiful, isn't it? And so we have that kind of fun. And I think that, we'll get together and do that with him some more. I've started a thread for us with Stephen Bow. He jumped in on the call the other day. And we started playing. We started jamming like we had done with Beaming.
Yeah.
And with
that's perfect
stuff. And yeah. And
I'm in. I want to be in on that because Steven understood pieces of Togetherland, and I want to run with Wish You Were Sphere because in my myth, I love Pink Floyd so much that it has a different connect. I know everyone in our group like makes that connection, but I really like that really hits me on my personal musical love. Now, I don't even when I read that, I don't think of Bucky, I don't think of dodecahedrons or anything. I think of Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Sphere. Like, and what is that? I still need to investigate it, maybe rewrite the song based on that, like as a message to Dave Gilmour and Roger Waters to come together, whatever, whatever that is. So yeah, I totally get it. So, and I would love to be in there. And I know Stephen lives like in Vancouver, I think, which I want to go see as well. So he would be on my road trip, and then we'll get Stroopy out here too. Like, and I'm because I'm breaking the funding barrier. Enough of that. I'm so focused, like getting into more focus. I know I'm gonna break that barrier. So we're gonna get the film crews. Like, if we need to get Stroopy, like we're gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna do it. I mean, I'm doing it. Because we need
You
a
know,
bus,
there's lots
right?
of
We
ways
need
to
a school
accomplish it
bus.
with, yeah.
I need a yellow
Um,
school bus.
yeah. Um, wow. It's so fun because I know when we get to, it's like somebody turns on the lights and all the games are out to play with,
Yeah.
and so I always get that that's just turned on feeling, tune in, what was the phrase that they used to give?
Turn on, tune in, co-create.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Brett, so here's the thing. Stephen actually brought Togetherland into our discussion. And he's mentioned it a few times about he's thinking of what he's doing in context of making it work within your framework of Togetherland.
Wow. That's amazing.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So we need to get you guys together. And that's, I think, will be good. And then, it's really interesting. I think what he's doing is working on character development and through his own personal experiences, and then his operating manual for being human, and all his wisdom that he's conjuring together and putting together into these characters. And then Stroopy, of course, like I said, he's master of wordplay, and also his music was so.
That's also, yeah. Music's a massive part of Unbreakable Spirit and Togetherland, because we're going to get to the point. This is not even a lie. We're going to have a big festival at the pyramids in a year or two to launch the Hollow movement. Because Mona, my friend, has been planting seeds for 5 years. She knows the people that, I was in Egypt, right? She knows the people that own, she knows the people that own the Giza Plateau. Like, it's a real thing. So we're all like, and now that with this Hollow movement has some of the people like Deepoks and Ken Wilbers, we can kind of leverage some of that. Mona's working with someone now that knows Oprah and Beyonce. So like, that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm not pulling, well, I will pull it out of my hat, obviously. But like, yeah, it's a real convergence for the Regenaissance, like really going live, because the Hollow movement allows for every movement. That, and not that it's the dominant one, but it's such a beautiful concept, like mimetically, like the essence of it, not someone's understanding of it, but like the Platonic ideal of fractal impact entertainment, of Hollow movement, of Regenaissance. All those things, man, on the Platonic level are like fire and electricity. These innovations are psychic technologies, like amazing.
So in context of our ever evolving story, and the notion that in the backcasting vision of that future that's willing us forward comes the questions of how do we get there. And a while ago we checked in on that, and we met the leprechaun kin, and we understood that omnidirectional communication was a huge component of our evolutionary sense of mind, and that these leprechaun kin that we have started meeting since then and entangling with have affected our thinking and the way that the future is presenting itself within us. Brett, I'm curious what you sense when I asked that.
When you asked that, what was the question?
When I asked that. Uh-huh.
I heard everything you said,
what was
but
the question?
What was the question?
What's the question feel that's coming out of that?
The question for me is, how can we integrate stories a bit more to more efficiently accelerate bringing in everything that's needed to take a next step, which is a step that's truly beyond any of our egos and actually makes an impact. Like, for the Regenaissance type energy that has not yet been seen. It's not the final thing, but it's that actually tangible. Like it might be a Togetherland location on 100 acres actually that gets $100 million, where we can bring everyone from the DSS. Like it could be a $2 project as well. So it's not about money. I'm just saying it's about the impact, however that wants to show up. That was the question for me, and my answer was, in Togetherland, there's a group of people called the Solutionaries or the Existential Rebellion. They're also the Electricon King. So like, if they're really interchangeable, it's a hypernym for the small group of people that Margaret Mead would talk about. So I personally can integrate that more, or just bring it in more, or have it be the primary name right now, just because it's energizing for you and you're my friend, and it's not taking anything away from my creativity on a personal creative note. Like which is important because like you say, I want to have my agency. So like things like that are what come to mind for me, and understanding what you meant. Like I might not have yet, or anyone 100% understand like every kind of aspect of what you're doing with that. But if it's the people you foresaw, in a sense, the kin that would do these kind of things, then that's what I'm saying when I say Solutionaries or the Existential Rebellion. It just depends on which market I'm marketing to, in a sense. Is that like feel good?
Don't even ask if it's accurate, because there
Yeah,
is
no,
such a thing.
no, I meant good.
But yeah, no, that's all good. That's why I ask these kind of vague particles that I throw out there that you can gather and make sense of as you will. I think that one of the things I've learned, and what I'm trying, I think what I'm working with, in the sense of, it's like, why the Griffalon? Where the fuck did the Griffalon enter
I
into the
was
picture?
curious about that. I thought it was like I love the concept, and all the two words together don't roll off my tongue. So because of that, because I'm so sensitive to language, it's the first thing I thought was, whoa, it is kind of left field. So tell me about that more. Or what
You're
the
gonna love
question?
this story. You're gonna love this story. So hold on, I just need to take a sip of something. I got an ice cube here.
Oh
Sitting
shit!
in a
My
hot
pizza's
corner.
my pizza's probably burning. You distracted Brett, Mr. Fuller, from pizza. That's like Scooby Doo not having a Scooby snack. We should take
Oops.
we should take part of this. Take note of this moment. 1 second. You there?
Yeah.
Is there
I'm
any
sucking on
chance?
ice cream.
Is there any chance you could do a 4-minute download and then we can catch up later or tomorrow or whatnot? Or is that not enough time? Because I can stay. It's going to run out, so I have to start a new one. That's why I'm asking as well.
Gotcha. I understand that. That always happens to me.
Oh, that's
Yes,
why it was
I
a golden
can.
ticket. That's why this is a golden ticket. I got out of scarcity. I'm signing up for Zoom, for my own Zoom. So I'm not sharing with Andrea anymore. So I can do what I want and put whatever sayings I want and whatever pictures I want. So this is the first broadcast of the official like Unbreakable Spirit making of Togetherland, where I was like, I need to do this. And if I have to spend $20 a month on fucking my own Zoom, stop being an asshole. Like you'll spend money on everything else. Invest in your fucking self. So yeah, so that was the specialty of it. So I'll
Well,
tell you
that's
what.
that's a great
Yeah.
way to end the first beamcast of this then. And then we can continue on if you'd like, unless you need to run off. We can just start from afresh and have a little more time before we go, oops, we just ran out.
Yeah. So can you be around in like 10 minutes so I can just get a drink and stuff? What's your timing like?
I'm just sitting here, Brett, just
You
sitting here
chilling?
enjoying a view. I've got nowhere to be other than to share with you. Yeah.
Okay, I will touch base in about 10 minutes. I'm pretty much expecting to jump on for episode 2 if for some reason, but I'll definitely get in touch in 10 minutes or so.
We'll do this. But
Awesome. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, bud. All right.